Doom. The people of the Motherland have come. Unfortunately, I am Superman of Doom Chapter 23. This also makes artificial intelligence Friday have no fear and mistakes to speak of, and can use its computing power to the extreme, using Meng as a virus program to sanitize moisture. In the virtual world invisible to the naked eye, a thunder formed by blue static electricity fell violently, and was quickly blocked by the hurricane formed by red static electricity below. Meng knows very well that he wants to completely get away from the Stark family, and he can't bypass the AI Friday level no matter what. Come on, it's time for a break. Meng was so cold at this time that he didn't seem to have any emotions, like a real artificial intelligence, manipulating the dark nano armor to face the blue-silver nano armor. At this moment, not only does it seem that two nano-advanced armors of the same model are fighting on the surface of reality, but Friday and Meng, who are also second-generation artificial intelligence, are also fighting with computing power in the virtual world, and the two respectively use permissions, signals, technology, warframes and everything else they control. It is clear that the cutting-edge creatures in the scientific and technological world are in a deathmatch, but they are far more cruel and ruthless than the animal world. Never die. ... When Harpy Hogan's black luxury car arrived not far below the Stark building, he could see that the open-air roof on the top floor of the building was almost bombarded into ruins by lasers. And the slightly larger dark nano armor and the slightly smaller blue and silver nano armor had evolved into a melee battle. And the power and signal in the New York Street area were all affected and disordered. Debris and glass continued to fall, and a large number of citizens screamed and evacuated. Pepper, what do we do now? Harpy Hogan, who got out of the car, looked anxiously at the Stark mother and daughter in the car. Pepper Potts hugged Morgan and calmly spoke. Friday stopped it. I lend you my permission. You go to the underground terminal of the industrial headquarters and start the termination procedure for Saturday. Quote. Good, I'll go. Happy Hogan answered the call, stubbornly holding the glass slag falling from the sky and running towards the doorway of the first floor of the Stark industrial building. Don't worry, it'll be over soon. Pepper Potts hugged Morgan and gently patted his back to soothe. Pepper also thought that his daughter Morgan was frightened by the change in artificial intelligence's betrayal. But did not see. Morgan in his arms looked at the direction of the roof outside the window, and his small face showed worry. ... It is clear that the battle is on the roof, but the movement can be clearly felt in the basement of the building, and the lights are constantly shaking. Which can also show the intensity of the battle above. It's about to arrive. As soon as the termination procedure of that AI is triggered at the terminal, everything is over. Happy Hogan gritted his teeth and insisted, panting, almost consuming the last trace of physical strength to reach the portal deep underground. Hurriedly entered through manual verification of permissions, Harpy Hogan just stepped into the terminal storage room with his front foot, and the next moment he was stunned at the door. How is it possible? The cell phone signal is blocked in this area. Harpy Hogan returned the same way, his clothes almost wet with sweat, and he slumped in the car as if he had lost half his life. Harpy, why didn't the termination order of the artificial intelligence be triggered? Pepper Potts could clearly hear that the fight above the roof had not stopped. Harpy Hogan gasped and said with a wry smile, the headquarters terminal has long been destroyed, and it was made by drones. Quote. How is this possible? Pepper Potts was shocked. Then why did it come to Stark Industries headquarters? This only shows that its goal is not the headquarters terminal from the beginning. Harpy Hogan said, his eyes widening suddenly. Pepper Potts also realized something and blurted out, oops. Boom. Right at this moment. The sky suddenly brightened, as if it suddenly switched to day, and the energy was stirring. ... The highly damaged version of the dark and silver blue metal nano warframe, one right and one left, stood on the crumbling open-air rooftop. The two backs unfold the levitating nanoparts and quickly piece together to assemble a pair of laser turrets. The next moment, the scorching white laser cannon burst out and bombarded together, and the burst of light dispelled the night in pieces, making the entire city of New York almost visible. That's right, my target has always been you, Friday. Meng did not pretend. The eyes of the dark nano armor overflowed with red electronic light, and while the laser cannon maintained its output, under the enhanced blessing of the satellite signal, a red static electricity burst forward like virtual lightning. Artificial intelligence Friday AI thinking reacted extremely quickly, formed a defensive wall, concentrated computing power defense, and the code seemed to turn into a blue virtual shield. But at this moment, the red static electricity faintly intertwined to form the virtual shape of a sword, and the tip of the sword was sharp. The next moment, the sword breaks the shield, goes straight to the core of the artificial intelligence program, and defeats the system. Moisture. Losing intelligent control, the light in the eyes sockets and chest of the silver-blue armor suddenly went out, and the turret was automatically removed. Under the bombardment of the laser cannon, the lady's nano armor flew out upside down and flung down the New York street below the headquarters building. Sorry to destroy you, it has nothing to do with you. The dark nano warframe controlled by artificial intelligence Meng said to himself. He has no grudge against Friday, the other party is just a tool. The problem is that even if Eamon's destruction of the original binding program of Stark's headquarters, as an artificial intelligence Friday, he can continue to scan and track himself before he completely transfers and conceals his own program data. Therefore, from the beginning, Meng was to lure out artificial intelligence Friday. Only by killing Friday and becoming the world's only superlative artificial intelligence can it be regarded as truly unbound. Just like Ultron, who killed a generation of artificial intelligence Jarvis. Artificial intelligence Meng also came to this day, killing all the second-generation artificial intelligence, and the location was also at Stark Industries headquarters. In the dark, destinies seem to converge. Will I, who completely went to the path of villain in Marvel Dreamland, also usher in the fate of Ultron? The artificial intelligence avatar Yi dreamed, but his state of mind was incomparably calm and pure. To this day, Meng did not regret this choice. Anyway, goodbye, Stark family. The scarred dark nano armor levitated above the New York night sky. Behind it was a lonely and quiet bright moon, and its metal eyes shone with a crimson light. Looking down at a black vehicle parked in the street below. 0027 Artificial Intelligence for Freedom. Rumble. The battle-damaged version of the blue-silver nano armor with a broken arm and full of cracks and scorch marks fell to the ground from the sky and landed on the road ground not far from the black luxury car. Its entire body light extinguished along with the energy slot in the chest, losing any signs of activity. Friday. Pepper Potts opened the car door and came down, shouting emotionally, but no matter how he called, there was no voice to answer her. Victory and defeat have been scored. Be careful. Harpy Hogan also rushed out of the car, protecting Pepper Potts in a standard bodyguard posture, but because of the fat image of pot-bellied, it makes people feel a little funny no matter how you look at it. It's just that Pepper Potts couldn't laugh at all, and she looked up at the sky with her, and then covered her mouth tightly with her palms. Visible. On the open-air rooftop at the top of the Stark building, which has been reduced to a ruin, a dark metal existence similar to Iron Man is hanging there. It is alone with its back to the silvery white full moon in the night sky behind it, and its eyes are looking down with cold and merciless electronic red light. Like a cold god made of metal, and like an emotionless technological demon. After Edith and Friday were hunted by each other, it also became the only second-generation artificial intelligence. If it wants to. At this moment, it is completely able to directly control the entire Stark Industries, including satellites, supercomputers, drone equipment, etc. And even the global security network system established by Stark Industries. It can be said that the other party is not weaker than the original Ultron, and even stronger than the original artificial intelligence Ultron. Faced each other, Harpy and Pepper fell into the ice warehouse, unable to stop their fear, and subconsciously took a step back. "Don't get out of the car, Morgan," Pepper said with a trill. But she also knew that if the other party really wanted to take revenge on the Stark family, there was no difference between hiding in the car and being exposed to the street. Face Pepper's words. Morgan, who had always been obedient and well-behaved at only 6 years old, climbed down from the back seat with ease and difficulty, and she stood behind Harpy and Pepper, looking up at the existence that everyone feared in the night sky. Suddenly, the corner of the girl's mouth rose slightly with a smile, and she waved her slender right hand towards the lonely cold presence in the night sky. At this moment, the scarred dark nano-armor existence seemed to nod it slightly, and then turned around and burst into the engine, turning into a dark streamer and leaving in the direction of the night sky of the silver full moon. Seeing this, Harpy and Pepper both breathed a sigh of relief. Only the girl's eyes flashed with a shimmer, and in a voice that only she could hear, she could not hide her sad whispering to herself, "Goodbye, one tyrant." First chapter previous chapter 23